Alrighty. Yeah, so yeah, I absolutely loved Affinity. So what was it that drew you to the script and the project in general?
Well, this movie started from the question of, as humans, we're playing to be God. We're experimenting with cloning, and all that, and like also with robotics and AI, and soon we're not gonna know who's was born as an official, way or was replicated or created, right?
Mhm.
But the question then goes, are we going to be able to replicate affinity? Are we going to be able to replicate the emotion connection between two human beings? And that's what triggers this movie. And I have this concept, and then I was like, oh, let's put together a story. We could do this, and I put together a group of writers, and we start writing the script, and that's how it started. It started from that kind of wanting to talk about that, and put it into an action movie. So it's a lot of nice fun, nice challenge.
Mhm. But even though there is still a lot of action in the movie, like what I also got from it is that it is at its core a love story. Really, would you say that's true as well?
Oh yeah, it's a love story, because if we're going to talk about affinity and the emotional connection between two human beings, that this is the question, right? Like, I needed to show it in the movie. I need to make sure the movie has that affinity between, the family members, how that, this friendship that he develops with Louis and with Brooke, and so people can see that relationship. That's something unique that you cannot replicate, right? And then the same thing when this girl happens and arrives, that connection, that affinity that they develop with the moments that they spend together is exactly what you cannot replicate. And that's why, I don't want to give spoilers, but I don't know when this is coming out, but that's what that triggers the question of the movie. Like he develops this thing that is so strong, so precious, and that sadly is taken away from him. So then, you know, and then you're presented at the end of the movie with this question, when we meet the villain and we understand the full story, right?
Mhm. So back onto the fight scenes, and this movie has some fantastic fights, and of course you have two great fights with Brahim, who's one of the best in the business, I think. Can you talk about working on some of those fights and working with Brahim as well?
Yeah, well, we each fight scene is treated differently in the script. And I wanted to use as much as possible the Thai team because I've never worked. I've worked before in a smaller movie. Like a very not the same as this one, but I this is the first time that I have the opportunity to interact with the stunt team from Thai and co-create things together. So I wanted to let them do a lot in terms of coming with the ideas and type of fighting, so then I can absorb that and then turn it into my style and turn it into the way that I like to move by using all their knowledge and all their style, right? So and what we try is to, in each fight, every fight was kind of treated differently because the character was going through different things, different stages in the movie. So, well, by the time I arrived with Brahim, that we have two fights, in the movie, and they're both so different. If you realize they're
Mhm.
treated differently, they're shot differently because the character was going through different things, So for me, it was a luxury to work with him. He's an amazing martial artist. He's, so much experience. He's, a coordinator, fight director. He knows. And when we met, we said, well, let's take it to the next level. Let's try to do this. Let's challenge ourselves. So that final fight was very tough, was very intense, and very ambitious to accomplish because the way it was shot makes things very complicated.
Mhm.
to make it look good, So it was very fun to take that challenge.
Mhm. And because he's, yeah, as you said, because he's from a martial arts background, do you find it's easier and almost more creative whenever you're working with someone who comes from a martial arts background rather than trying to get someone to do a fight scene who has no training whatsoever?
No, of course.
Mhm.
It's a world of difference.
Mhm.
It makes all the difference. That makes sometimes to come up with something that is memorable and good versus this is a fight scene, another fight scene,
Mhm.
because you can experiment, you can try new things, you can push it, you can push it to the next level with camera work, with everything. When you're not fighting a martial artist or someone that has experience, a lot of experience, you're very limited of what you can do, because you cannot do two long takes, because if you do a long take, the person is not coordinated enough or doesn't have the knowledge to adapt or improvise, if something goes wrong in the take, or there's many things that you gotta take in consideration. And then you do a long take, and if one technique doesn't work, then the whole long take is ruined. So then you need to be safe on how much you can push your actor to do a fight scene. So you need to first know his abilities, and understand, okay, this guy it's real trained, so we can go for it, or no, this guy is just more like we just take it easier, and we cut it in sections, and we can do shorter cuts and still can look good, but you cannot just you know explore different alternatives of shooting and be creative.
Mhm. And how was director Brandon Slagle to work with?
He was very cool, very nice, very supportive of the project. He knew the idea that I had with this movie. He was, so he totally helped in put this movie together and put the team together. So it was great to work with him.
Mhm. Yeah, but to me, this film was like very artistic. I thought like the music and the visuals, like even just those opening credits, were absolutely gorgeous. Did you have any say into to how you wanted that to look?
Yeah, actually, that's all. Like, I wrote the script with a very clear vision of how I wanted to shoot the movie. So I was very specific on, well, who helps me there was Ernesto Diaz.
Mhm.
He's my director from all my movies, Fist of the Condor, Diablo, work back in the day from Kiltro, Mirage Man. So I've learned everything that I've learned in movies from him, and the influences and the movies we used to like when watch movies like David Lynch or
Mhm.
Takashi Miike and all that influence. So I wanted to make this movie with that kind of vibe where you're watching the film, but there's always a feeling of maybe there's something else happening that I don't know that there's there, but I'm not too sure. When the girl shows up, oh, she's good, she's bad.
Mhm.
That ambiguity, that thing that is created by the music, by the atmospheres, by the lighting. So I wanted to use those elements, and I was very specific on how I wanted to shoot every scene. Like the camera needed to be from the perspective of Bruno. So all the time where you see Bruno is arriving somewhere or you're arriving with him, you're all the time the audience is understanding the story and the journey through his point of view. And that was very specific.
Mhm.
So that if you put the right sounds, the right music, you start creating a ride that is different. Like you're there with the character. You're not ahead of him, right? You're not discovering things that he doesn't know yet. So
Mhm.
you're living the experience from his point of view. So that was a big challenge for this movie, and I wanted to explore that.
Mhm. And he's going through a lot in this movie, sort of mentally and physically, Bruno. So how do you prepare mentally to step into the character's shoes?
Um, yeah, for me it was, I do some research, about these different traumas, and the physical feelings. I always enter from physical to psychological. So because of my martial arts, I guess I learn how to walk, how he walks. I try to discover, the physical movements that makes him the character. And then I start getting into more the emotional state where I use a lot the music to open the emotions and to be vulnerable. And then I just try to connect with the story, and be in the present and let the feelings flow and connect with what's going on.
Hmm. Okay. So, what did you personally take away from working on the film? Like, did you learn anything from working on it?
Yeah, for me, it's like, uh, yeah, well, for me, it was a learning experience because it was the first time that I had the opportunity to be such in control and have a lot of input on decisions that from the pre-production to the post-production, right? So it's very cool to experience that and learn all the processes on the music and the editing and then the right sound, the sound mix, all that for me was a great learning experience to be able to have a vision in your head and then put it in a movie. But what I've learned, now that I ask your question, sometimes you need to understand that the movie has its own life, right? So I had this project, I have the script, but the project from the moment it was in the script to the final product, it has a lot of mutations. And I've learned sometimes that if you learn to listen those things, the product can become much better and much more attractive if you stay connected of what you want, but you also let the possibility to things adapt or move. So I realized that the movie experiment a lot of changes through the process of making the movie. Like to give you an example, the movie was thought to be shot in an island at the beach. So I used to, my character is supposed to be live in a beach shack, right? At the beach, and he was to be a fisherman, right? Instead of in a restaurant and instead of living next to the river, right? And when that option came, I thought about it, and then I went to see the locations, and actually it was even better. Like the look was more, the atmosphere of the river was different vibe than if I'm in the beach, like with the sun. It would be a
Hmm.
different movie just because of that change of location, right? So, and I'm glad that happened. So things like that, you learn that sometimes you cannot be so stuck on one idea. You also need to learn how to maybe absorb, see, be aware, and then suddenly you start picking up things that you didn't even never thought before, but you adapt.
Hmm.
You adapt like the master said, flow like water,
Yeah.
be water.
Yeah. I feel like the next step is for you to like fully direct a movie. Are you interested in directing something soon?
Well, to be honest, not for now. Like I like to work with my team. I like to play roles and direct fights. I like the action directing. But yeah, like in the future, this was a beautiful experience. I in this movie to be part of like kind of co-directing and making all these decisions. I like that, but I also like to be directed, by a good
Mhm.
director and enjoy the making of it. But I do like to be part of the decisions and bring my vision into a movie.
Mhm. Oh,
So
okay.
I
And before you go, is that your energy drink you're drinking there? Scott
oh
Atkins
yeah,
was raving about it last time I spoke to him about it.
yeah, yeah. This is Kiwi, yes.
Anyway, yeah, see, I got to pick that up. See, I'm in Canada, so I don't know if we can get it here.
Oh yeah,
Um,
you can get it through Amazon in the
yeah,
United States. I don't know if they deliver over there.
they might do. I know I got
Yeah,
to
then
try to get some.
maybe try see if you can get it because Yeah, but we're trying to grow and expand to different places, so hopefully soon. But I know, it's in Amazon in the US, in all the
Hmm.
US, and I
I'll post some
we're
links.
yeah. Oh, great, great.
Yeah, I'll add the links to it because I was speaking to Scott for Diablo, and he was saying that they're drinking that throughout making the film, and he absolutely loved it. So,
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, this is is good for train, and it doesn't give you the chills. It's a
mhm,
natural. I created from a fruit here in Chile in the Patagonia, the maqui berry, and I mix it with the guarana seed. So something that keeps me going, gives me energy, but doesn't take me away of
mm,
like the focus.
yeah, yeah. All right, last question, and I'll let you go. What would you like audiences to take away from Affinity?
No, I just want them to try to enjoy the ride, and I did this movie with a lot of love. It means so much to me, this movie, and hopefully they have a good time watching the movie, and at least they can get a little emotional. It's like
Mhm,
for me, this is more a story of seeing fighting. Of course, there's a lot of fighting,
mhm,
but at the same time, there's a lot of humanity in the movie. That was the idea, and hopefully, that triggers questions to the people watching the movie. If not, they just gonna have a fun ride watching some fight scenes. But
mhm,
but yeah, the story was a bit more complex. So we'll see. I'm happy and thankful for the support, and that the people are reacting very good to the movie. So
mhm.
that's very cool.
Yeah, well, that's two great ones, and you got this one and Diablo, both two of my favorites of the year. So well done, awesome.
Oh wow, thank you, man. Really appreciate it. Yeah, they're so different though, right?
They are. They're
Like
like worlds apart.
one,
Yeah.
yeah, they're one, it's like like I'm the villain, like this no-hearted guy, and the other one
Mhm,
is so vulnerable. So it was
yeah.
fun to explore these two extremes.
hmm Yeah, I love the character intro in Diablo whenever you're just coming in and the cake. Yeah.
Oh
So
yeah,
feeling that was just such a brilliant character introduction.
yeah. That's cool, man.
Alrighty, I will let you go. Thank you so much for taking the time to chat with me today, and all the best with the film. We'll chat with you again soon, hopefully.
Thanks for the support, man.
Oh,
Thank you,
always.
man.
Okay. All right, thanks so much. Take care.
Bye bye.